Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Perforemost Live Chat, Perforemost Podcast, and today we've got our venue sponsor and the owner, Bill Lee of Gate 11 Distillery, here with us. He's going to talk about owning a live music venue and also tell us a little about his signature spirits and the Gate 11 Distillery. Welcome to the show, Bill Lee.
Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. Good to be here.
So let's just get started and tell us about this fantastic venue. I mean, it's so much fun. It's right in the Chattanooga Choo Choo in Chattanooga, Tennessee. From my perspective, I'm looking right out at one of the original Chattanooga Choo Choos, and this is Gate 11. What nostalgia you got, the musical past, everything. Tell us about why you're here.
Well, let me start with saying I'm a local guy. I grew up around here, actually about an hour north of here in Pikeville, Tennessee, Bledsoe County. But I grew up in the Chattanooga area, But I met Wanda, my wife, at UT Knoxville. We lived in about 12 different states. And then finally moved back here about 15 years ago. So it was kind of a homecoming. And to me, the Chattanooga Choo Choo is like the most Chattanooga location possible.
Yeah.
And so when the opportunity to site a distillery here came up, we were like, wow, this is fantastic. We jumped at that. So. Yeah, we decided to do a little different take on distilling. Tennessee distilleries, there's a lot of them, about 50 of them. There's a heavy emphasis on whiskey, obviously, and you can get a lot of different flavors of moonshine in some places. But we were like, no, we want to do the spirits that people use in cocktails, and we want to do them really well. And so we're, I guess, a little obsessive. And people are like, what do you like the most? Which of your spirits you like the most? And I tend to look at it, which was the biggest challenge to make? Which was the hardest to make? And those were the most gratifying in a lot of ways. Well, I think the agave or the green absinthe probably were one of those two were the biggest challenge. But, we have a big cocktail bar focus here. And so we need to have a wide range of spirits so we can offer a full range of cocktails.
I had one yesterday. It was absolutely amazing.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely amazing. And I had your simple syrups were all handmade, and all the other parts of that cocktail. I look over there, it's like a mixologist's dream.
Yeah, we like to say the craft does not end at the distillery. We're really craft focused at the bar as well, with infusions and house-made syrups and a lot of creativity. But when we sited this place 7 years ago, I was convinced, or I was adamant, that we make it a live music venue as well. And part of that comes from my history as a musician, being a musician myself. And so that's why we have a stage behind us. That's why we have live music 4 or 5 nights a week and live entertainment. So.
How important is that to your business and to your revenue generation?
Well, we do have some nights where someone cancels and we have no music, and we see an impact on that. So I'm not saying our cocktails by themselves aren't entertaining enough to sit around, but we want to give people, we want energy in the room, and we want to give people a reason to kind of hang around. And so that's a lot of why we do it.
That's the truth right there, right?
Yeah.
So when you hire a band, what are you expecting out of them in order to get that result that you need for the money that you spend?
Bram, that's an amazing question, because I've had this discussion with some musicians, and there's a viewpoint among some in the musical industry that promotion of an event is 100% the owner, the venue's responsibility, and the performer just shows up and plays. And I'm taking a position that at best it's a shared responsibility.
Yeah.
If performers are out there who have been cultivating their own audience, have a network of people, they're doing social media and are connected to their folks, then when they announce they're playing at our place, we have some assurance that people are going to show up, some audience. Now, we have people who come here
The regulars.
just to see who's coming tonight. We've got people who walk by. So one, share in the promotion of yourself and your performance at our place.
Yeah.
Another one, number 2 would be, I guess, engagement. Don't be a shoegazer, Interact with the audience. We've got some really charismatic people who get up here and they suck them in and they come in. They were leaving a comedy show or leaving another place. They walk by, what's that? What's going on over there? And they come in and pretty soon they're there for the night.
That's a big sales difference,
Yeah.
right? You could either, if you're turning one drink around per person or they're having several drinks, that is a huge impact on your bottom and top line.
And we don't serve food here, so we don't have that to kind of hold people. That's, if you have food, that's another thing that kind of...
So entertainment's what holds them.
Entertainment.
Because you got to wait for the food to come out. That's going to extend the stay.
Right.
But the only other thing you have is entertainment, so it has to be good entertainment that captures, engages, and does not disconnect.
Yeah, so for the musicians you're hiring, you're paying for a service, and that service is
bringing people into the room and keeping them in the room so they spend more money. It's not that they play music. That is how they provide that service.
That's a perspective that a lot of musicians don't have. So.
But you're also going to make a decision on the fact of who you're going to bring back a second time based on that performance, right? Like you're KPIing it all the way from start to end.
Music booking agent is just one of my 11 jobs here.
There we go.
And so I'm not full time at it. And so if there's somebody who's doing well in all those regards, and I can I can rebook them here, put them in for once a month or once every other month for the next year. That's really easy for me to do, and I like to do that. So,
you guys heard it from the horse's mouth. That's job stability right there. And then your key number one job is to capture and engage and hold on to these audiences, because that's what the venue owner cares about, and that's what he's paying for.
Yeah.
Now, your opportunity to turn them into your fans, his customers into your fans, that's the benefit. That's the extra that, do not let that get in the way of providing him his return on investment.
Well, just as you build your audience, that's more of an audience you can bring to the next gig you play. Right, exactly.
Now, there's different type of experiences also that you host here. So it's not just cover bands. You have comedy, karaoke. Talk about some of the other experiences you offer and maybe why you program the way you do.
Well, let's just start with Monday night. We are the current place in town for what's called Monday Night Blues Jam. It has been at some other places in town previous, but right now we're doing that, and it's a great experience because it says blues, but it's really any genre. People can come up. They don't even have to have their guitar. I mean, there's
open jam?
Yeah, there's a house band, open jam, get up and play, do a few songs, and we've actually had a few bands that were created by people the synergy of people coming to this event. Mm-hmm. And to me, that is the best testimony of what we're trying to do that is possible. Yeah. I mean, Chattanooga is trying to figure out how do we become this kind of hyper creative music scene like these other cities that iconic cities that we're seeing.
Tucked right between two good, solid music cities, right?
Well, the size of the town really isn't that much of a detriment. It's just, how do you create an audience in the community? How do you build buzz? How do you get people thinking there's something going on music-wise in this town tonight, and where do I go see that? And that's what the city's trying to do, and that's what we're trying to help the city do, I think. Tuesday night we have open jam.
Started the week.
We have a comedy challenge with Shalita Chapman, and this is again, you get up. It's like an extemporaneous thing, improv. Yeah. Hey Bram, here's your topic. Go riff on this.
How many people bomb?
What?
How many people bomb?
I don't know. There's always someone bombing, but bombing is part of
life.
It's
it's watching the car crash, right?
So Wednesday night usually don't have a whole lot going on. Thursday we have we've got a rotating monthly singer-songwriter and doing covers, doing some originals. Friday usually another singer-songwriter or a duo. Saturday sometimes we'll have a band. We've got a twice-a-month drag show, which brings in a huge crowd.
Yeah.
As far as somebody's got their own audience, that's a good example. They've got their own audience.
Yeah.
So, but life is a performing arts, guys, and if you can find a way to be a performer in some way, it's going to benefit every aspect of your life. Mm-hmm. And so,
life is a performer. Yeah, I love that.
Shakespeare said, "All the world's the stage." So, anyway.
Well, you mentioned something else that I want to point out in that music programming and entertainment programming is about pivot points and how you drive an audience in, like the schedule here. You got the comedy show that lets out. You're capturing an audience that's a passing audience, and that's a different thing from a venue that people are paying tickets to go and see a live event. You're offering something that captures a traveling or a transient group and holding on to them, which more amplifies the need to have something that's engaging in people that are reaching out and pulling people in to get them to stay.
Yeah, most of our shows are no cover. We typically do no cover, and that makes it easier for people to just kind of wander in. So, but we have out in the Choo Choo Gardens, there are weekend events that bring in their own crowd, and we just, by osmosis, we get some of those people coming our way. And a lot of them have no idea we're here before, but they just show up.
So you're paying prime real estate for the opportunity to have that, where in essence it's got built-in crowd flow, where if you were down the street and you were a destination venue, you have to spend those marketing dollars to try to get somebody to even show up you're lucky that you have this complex right here that has a natural draw, and tourists, I assume, are coming through. And people, selling liquor that way, but there's a premium cost to that with where you're located.
People literally come from all over the world to Chattanooga, and one thing they know the city about is the Chattanooga, that song, the Chattanooga Choo Choo. I would say generationally. I talk to young people; they have no idea.
No clue.
Yeah.
No idea
what
that song
choo-choo
was.
is. Like, locomotive. What are you talking
People
about?
from South Africa, Germany, Australia, they come here and they're like, they know about the Chattanooga Choo Choo song. And they want to come to this place, and so that is why we're here. Exactly, it's not like Gatlinburg, where you just show up and tons are walking by your door every day. But it's pretty good. It's a good place to be. And in 7 years, I haven't really regretted that we chose here.
Great. So you said something really super important. The song. The song is actually the draw. Like, one song is created a whole entire tourist or a ecosystem for this town. Like, that's the power of music.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, just one song, like, is the engine of a city. That's amazing.
In Nashville, and I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, a songwriter town, they say it all starts with the song. And music is the soundtrack of our lives. So we are Bill Lee's creating a soundtrack for this venue and for this area. So they've got something to listen to as they're experiencing that. And it helps them to have those memories.
Well, once again, our guests have proved our points.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
We are so smart.
Fun fact. Glenn Miller's Chattanooga Choo Choo was the first gold record in the U.S.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
That's a fun fact.
you music guys need to know that. So
Yeah.
Embarrassed that I did.
So
Well, we've got another surprise. We're actually going to go behind the scenes and show you all the distillery, and we'll show you some background for the Chattanooga Choo Choo as well. So stick around, and Billy's going to take us on a little journey here.
Yeah, Bill, thank you for sharing that perspective. Not only you're an artist that has taken the stage, but the venue owner that is really the primer for helping us find a living doing what we're passionate about. Your perspective is so important for us to understand why we're doing what we're doing and how to satiate your needs, which is really important. Number one, you're our employer, and we have to keep you happy. And you've given our audience some insight into how to do that and why it's so important.
good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Plan.
Hi, Bill.